another video, and today's video is a long-awaited video because I know y'all miss me, but I'm back. I'm back and I'm better, and I'm somebody's mama, y'all. Like, I'm somebody's mom. What the hell? Like, I'm a mother in the game. Like, hello, how are you today? But anyways, I know y'all want to hear my labor and delivery story, and it's gonna be a long one because I was in labor for 32 hours. 32 hours, okay? Like, no joke. So go grab some popcorn, whatever you gotta grab, and we're gonna hop into this video. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna just jump in it. So it was like 4 a.m. on July 4th, and I had already had in my mind that my daughter wasn't coming on July 4th, so I was just like, she ain't gonna be here no time soon. It's gonna be another week, and then they're gonna be inducing me, and I did not want to get induced. But anyway, so it was like 4 a.m., like towards the end of 4 a.m., like 4:45, and I was asleep, and I got woken up by this weird, strange pain, and I was like, what is this? So I got up, I used the bathroom, and then after I used the bathroom, I came back in bed. So then I started moving because the pain wouldn't go away. I was like, what's this? So my boyfriend was like, what's wrong? You okay? And I was just like, no, I feel weird, but I don't know what it is. But we had a false labor scare already. So I was just like, I'ma chill on it. But the pain like stayed there. Like, it'll go away and then it come back. So I was just like, if I keep feeling like this at like 5:15, I'm going to call my mama in the morning, 5:15 in the morning. So I'm just like, okay. I didn't make it to 5:15. I called my mama. I was like, Mama, something going on. She was like, you think you in labor? And I was like, I think so, but I don't know. So she was like, okay. So me and my boyfriend get up, we pack our stuff, and we go to my mom's house and we go get all the auxiliary stuff. So we at my mom's house, and like, I'm hurting, but I'm not hurting. It's like, contractions do feel like period cramps, but like on crack, on PCP. Like, contractions are terrible, but they start off tolerable. Like, they don't start off like, they start off like, it's uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable, I don't like this, but they're tolerable. So we got to my mama's house, and then I'm still in summer school, so y'all, guess what I did? I did my homework for the next day, because July 5th we have to be back in school, so I did my homework for that day, everything I need to do. So we waited a while, my boyfriend went back to sleep, and I waited a while. I started my contraction app, and my contractions was like weird. It was like 8 minutes apart, then it was like 10 minutes apart, and then 15 minutes apart. Well, then they got a consistent 7 minutes apart, so I was just like, okay, I think we should go to the hospital. But you know, by the time it takes drive and put out the Beaumont, they'll maybe be 5 minutes apart. I'm new to this, I don't know this. So around 7-ish, yeah, around 7 o'clock, I went to the hospital. So I walked in the emergency room. I was like, hey, I think I'm in labor. I went up to the 3rd floor. I was already pre-registered. If you're not pre-registered, y'all need to do that, because that saves a lot of time, especially when you're in pain, but I'm gonna get to that. So I walked in, or they wheeled me up to the 3rd floor. Then I got to the nurse in triage, and they told me to use the bathroom, change, and they hooked me up to the machine, the contraction machine with the pink belt and the blue belt, and it was a monitor right there. And so there I was. So they monitored my contractions for about 30 minutes, and they determined you're in active labor. And she was like, this means you can have your baby in 30 minutes. This means you can have your baby in an hour. It all depends on how your body works. Since your body is doing this naturally, we can't time this, and I didn't get induced. Okay, I don't know if y'all know, a quick snippet. Getting induced is when they make you have your baby. They give you like Pitocin, everything to make you have contractions, to make you have your baby. But my body was doing it on its own. Thank the Lord, because I heard getting induced is way worse than natural labor, but that's neither here nor there, because it all came natural, honey. Okay, so after that, we waited a minute, and then she checked me. So I was still 2 centimeters dilated from weeks ago, because I've been 2 centimeters dilated for like forever. If y'all watch my pregnancy update and my pregnancy vlog, y'all would know I was 2 centimeters. So she was like, we're gonna keep you for 3 hours, and if you haven't progressed in 3 hours, or if you aren't progressing in 3 hours, we have to let you go home, and you have to labor at home. Okay, so time is passing, and it's just passing, like, and I'm still in contraction. My contractions are still coming, but like I said, they're consistent, but they're not at a steady rate, if that makes sense. Like I said, they 8 minutes, they 30 minutes, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they're getting worse, but they're not dying. I'm not dying, but they hurting. Like, whew, I'm at this point, like, whew, this hurt. Whew, Lord. That's where I am. And I recorded for y'all, so hey guys, so currently, I've been up since 5. I started having contractions. I'm eating hard candy because I can't eat nothing. My contractions were coming, and then they slowed down, and then they started coming again. So we came to the hospital, and I'm still 2 centimeters dilated, but I'm having contractions constantly. So if I haven't made any progress in like an hour, 2 hours, then I will be what? If I haven't made any progress in 2 hours, they're gonna let me go, but I'm probably gonna come back. But I'm contracting regularly, so 9 times out of 10, no.
She gonna wait till 9 at night when the fireworks start coming.
So y'all, we might have a baby today. Today is July 4th. 9/19. Look at Kenneth. I'm still in triage, and my mom.
Some grape juice, but it don't taste good.
Okay, so by 10 o'clock, I want to say they released me, and they was like, you can only take 2 extra strength Tylenols. Remember this number, 2. They say you can only take 2 extra strength Tylenols. I was like, okay, bet. And then she was just like, you know, you want to walk, you want to eat, because if you come back and get admitted, you can't eat. You can only do, they gave me all the rules and regulations. If you need to sit in a hot tub, do that as much as possible, go to sleep, see what you can take, because you are in active labor, but we don't know when it's going to happen. And she was just like, one time this lady came, I discharged her, and she was back in the next 45 minutes. And I was just like, okay. But in my head, I'm like, I'm contracting, I ain't dilated far, but hey, my baby coming, and my baby coming. Like, that's me. I'm like lit like big. Meanwhile, my mama tired, my boyfriend, he dead in the chair, sleep tired, okay, because we have been up since 4 o'clock, even though he took more naps than me, but we ain't done now. Okay, so I go home. My mama cooked chicken spaghetti that day. I ate 2 or 3 plates. I think I like 2.5 plates of chicken spaghetti, and I went to sleep. Well, I got to the point where the contractions were waking me up out of my sleep, and I was just like, ooh, we on the road. So I was just like, okay, mama, this hurts. I'm gonna take extra strength Tylenol. Little did I know that I should have saved that Tylenol, because that's my 1 or 2. So 1 of the 2 gone right now, and I don't know that this is gonna get worse. I'm thinking, if this is childbirth, this bad, but it ain't that bad. It's worse than what it was this morning, but it can't get no worse than this. Ha! Whew. I cracked myself up, okay? So I took a Tylenol, and then I soaked in the tub. Soaking in that hot water really helped me and relaxed me, and I was all, who this feel good. I was still in pain, but it was better. So at that point, I was tired of laying down. I had slept as long as I could sleep, because you know you can't sleep too long. So it's like 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock come around, then I go sit in the living room of my house, and me and my mama watching TV. Then my grandma comes over, my boyfriend's there, my grandma pray over me, and I start contracting more. So my contractions start coming harder, and it's just like, ooh, like at this point they're stopping me, like in my tracks. It's like, ooh, ee, ooh, like that. Like I'm walking, and it's like me and my boyfriend walking around the house, and I'm holding his hand, and I'm just like, whoo, wee, like that's how it's feeling at this point. And I'm just like trying to breathe, and, you know, relax my shoulders and all this other stuff. So around 8 o'clock hit, and you know, they are hurting even worse now, and I'm just like, whew, Father, all right, I see you, Lord. I see you. Okay, so the time has passed enough for me to take another Tylenol. So I waited a little bit longer, because I noticed that they were getting worse. So I was like, okay, I can tolerate this. I've been tolerating this. I'm gonna wait a little while. So at like 9:30-ish, my boyfriend went home to take a bath and stuff like that. My best friend came over, and at that point they started hitting me hard as hell, like stronger wise, and it was like, oh god. So I took extra strength Tylenol. Mind you, I'm out of Tylenol. Zilch, 0, ain't no more Tylenols. They start hitting me harder. So y'all, at this point, I'm really in pain. Like I'm like changing positions. I can't sit, I can't stand, I can't squat. It hurt. The contraction right now, it's like it's climax, and it's like and then I'm resting. It's like, but it's like coming from like, it's like your stomach is like squeezing and pushing, and it feel like a period cramp, and it's sharp, and it's like you feel it in your booty. Like I can't describe it because it's like it hurt, y'all. Like I don't want to sugarcoat this. Like I'm just a G because y'all, like that shit hurted. Like I can't even describe it because, like I said, it feel like a period cramp on crack on steroids. Like, but it's just like your stomach, and then it's like it's coming from your butt, and it's just, y'all, it hurt. Like it's just like okay, it's like when they come, it's like you getting shocked. Like it don't feel like a shock because I've never got shocked, so I can't say that, but it's just like, and then it passes, y'all. I swear to God. So like I said, by the time this point, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So then I'm just going through that, and they just hitting me like, but they not that, they're more consistent. They're not like 30 minutes apart. They like 15 minutes apart, 20-15 minutes apart at this point. So I try to go back to sleep, and I can't go back to sleep. So I was like, okay, something to make me feel better. Cinnamon rolls. I took cinnamon rolls. So time has passed, and my best friend still like timing me and everything, and I'm just like, oh God, like y'all, like I was moaning and groaning, and I was just like, ooh, little did I know that that ain't nothing. That wasn't shit. Like this is like 11:30. So my mama cooked my cinnamon rolls. Let's hit midnight. So at this point, we at midnight. I'm still in pain. Like I managed to get into bed, but I'm like curled up in a ball. Like I can't sleep now at this point. Like my mom's like, well, lay down and get some rest, and it's like I can't rest because as soon as I close my eyes, another contraction comes, and I'm just like, I just be like, and then I'd be like, Kiana, and then she'll start thinking, I just be like, and then it keep going like, y'all, that's some pain, y'all. Like that made my child count go from me wanting 6 kids to me wanting 2. Nah, maybe 3, but I'm not gonna do that shit a lot, okay? So anyways, what I say? Oh, this is like 2 a.m. so it's getting closer to 3 a.m. 4 a.m. I eat my cinnamon rolls, I'm chilling, I'm in pain, I'm dying at this point. So then I get a contraction that started the wave, okay? Like this contraction hit me so hard, I curled up in a ball, and I ran to the bathroom, and I threw up, and then a whole bunch of blood just came out of my vagina, okay? Like, so it was just like, oh my God. So my mama made me call the nurse, and I'm just like, I'm throwing up, and she was just like, wait till it's 5 minutes apart. Like y'all, like I'm crying at this point. Like I'm just throwing up, I'm crying, I'm nauseated, I'm in pain, I'm having pain. Like y'all, I keep trying to describe this pain to y'all, but I can't because it hurts so bad. Like it's just like it's stopping me in my tracks. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't do nothing. So by the time 4 o'clock hit, 4 a.m. mind you, this will be a whole 24 hours. I'm gonna say at like 5, it's gonna be a whole 24 hours because I started laboring like 4:45 the next day. I told y'all that. So like 4-ish, my best friend was like, their contractions are 4 minutes apart, but I waited to go to the hospital because I didn't want them to send me home. They had me messed up, like So it was like 4 a.m. and y'all, I'm contracting so bad that I can't put any clothes on. It's like it's stopping me in my tracks. Like y'all know my house is a hop, skipping, and jumping away, and from my room to the door ain't that much, but it took me like 5 minutes to get to the door. Then on the ride to the hospital, it's like a bumpy road, and y'all, like them bumps and lumps, and not me contracting, like I was miserable. Like I cried for hours straight at this point because I'm in so much pain. Like I walked into the emergency room, and they was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm in labor. Like, and so I get to the 3rd floor, I'm contracting in a wheelchair, I'm telling the man to stop, hold on, I'm like, so we get up back to triage, and the nurse there, and she was like, hey, you're back, and I'm like, yes ma'am. And so I had to pee again, like that, y'all, everything, but these contractions still coming, so it's making things longer and harder to accomplish, and I'm just like, oh God. So then she was like, let me check you, and I was 4 centimeters. Mind you, I'm pissed because I came here 24 hours ago and I was 2 centimeters, and I'm in this much pain, and I'm just 4, nigga, what? Like I was pissed at this point, but my body is, she was like, your contractions are consistent, it's okay, like, you're in labor, we're gonna admit you, we're gonna keep you, do you want any payments? And I was like, no ma'am, I'm okay, I don't want no payments, like, I'm okay. So then they did the IV or whatever, and she was like, I'm gonna stick you with the IV. But y'all, somebody could have been slapping me with a baseball bat, and that pain didn't compare to this contraction pain. I'm crying, I'm like, mama, like, y'all, I'm boohooing, like, mama, I did hurt, mama, like, that is how I am. Like, so they get me to a room. When they get me to a room, y'all, my best friend is like, do you want me to hold your hand? And I'm like, I held her hand, and then like I didn't want to squeeze her how I wanted to squeeze her because I was in so much pain. So I grabbed the bed rails, and like a contraction came, and I literally like lifted myself to the top of the bed, like, ah! So yeah, cause y'all, like, that's how much pain I was in. But mind you, I had been contracting for 24 hours. So I've been in labor for 24 hours at this point, but it didn't start getting bad till like I said, 9:30, 10 o'clock. So my contractions are, I'm thinking, at their peak. Like, sis finna bust it on out. Like, in another 45 minutes, sis finna come on 4 centimeters dilated. This process finna speed up. No, it didn't. So at this point, my body started shaking, like I was doing this, like involuntarily, like shaking. And I started like, oh shit. My body like, hey, bitch, we ain't got no energy. We ain't got no energy. And I can't eat anything because I'm admitted, I done threw up everything in my stomach. So I'm just like, I'm like shaking, like. So they was like, we need to get you some oxygen. And at this point, my mom was like, my baby is not finna die. None of this shit finna happen. She need an epidural. So they kicked my best friend out. They kicked everybody out. And I'm like this, shaking, trying to get an epidural. So then I had to wait on the anesthesiologist. That was another 30 minutes, and I'm just like, oh God, oh Father, I hear you, Lord. I'm not doing this no more. Like, don't touch me, nigga. Like, that was me. But I'm just like shaking and I'm weak. So then my mama come out. They was like, who you want to come in with the epidural? I said, I want my mama. So I'm shaking at this point, and I'm like weak, and the anesthesiologist is like, I'm gonna numb you, but I'm gonna stick needles in your back and I'm gonna numb you. Then I'm gonna insert the catheter for the epidural. And I was like, okay, yes sir. If y'all didn't know, epidural is not just a shot. It's medicine hanging like an IV back. So it's like an IV in your back with pain meds. So at this point, I'm like this, and you gotta crouch over yourself, and my mama's holding this side of my body and the nurse is holding the other side of my body, and they're holding me really, really tight because I'm shaking. And every time I had a contraction, I would be like, I'm having a contraction, so he would stop, so you know, it won't paralyze me. But in my mind, I'm weak as shit. I'm like, okay, the nurses and my mama holding me, and it's like, I'm having a contraction, and I'm shaking. So it was like, Lord, please don't let me be paralyzed, Father God, but I can't take this anymore. Like, I can't do this. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I had to go be a mommy. Mommy duties come first. I kind of forgot where I was, but I think I had told y'all I had got my epidural. I think I was getting my epidural, so I got my epidural. He gave me the epidural. The contraction started going from being crazy to like slimming down to like where I couldn't feel him at all. So when I got the epidural, I couldn't feel anything from like my belly button down, and it was like he stayed in there 30 minutes to make sure I was okay, and I didn't feel nothing, and like, you know, I didn't feel weird or anything, and I wasn't nauseous. So after I got my epidural, it was like maybe 6, 7-ish. No, it was like 6-ish. I think it was like just hitting 6 something. I got my epidural, and then I was like not in any more pain, but my mama was tired, my boyfriend was tired, and Kiana was tired, and they was like, okay, you need to go to sleep. And they was like, yeah, you should get your rest because you need to push. But they kept checking me like every 2 hours. So the next 2 hours they came and checked me, and I was still 4 centimeters dilated. So at this point, my doctor had came, it's like 8, and he checked me. He was like, oh, you have a bulging bag. So I guess my bag was stuck in between my cervix, so I wasn't dilating, because my doctor, he came in, he bust my bag, and he was like, be back in 6 hours, we'll have a baby. I was like, 6 hours? What? Are you crazy? Like, are you kidding me? But The next time they came check me at 10 o'clock, I was 6 centimeters, and I was just like, thank you, Lord. So in that time, like, I didn't feel nothing. I wasn't in any more pain. I was just laying there because my body was tired, and I was asleep most of the time, watching that Wild 'N Out, sucking on them goddamn Jolly Ranchers, y'all. I don't want to see another Jolly Rancher because all I ate from the time I got admitted to the time I had my child was Jolly Ranchers and ice water, okay? And it's like, they didn't even give me water. I let the ice melt to drink it. Y'all, like, that's how it was. So, Mama, how long have I been in labor?
Too long. You gotta tell the people.
I've been in labor for over a day.
24 hours. 12 hours? No, more than 12 hours.
I started contracting at 5 a.m. July 4th. Came to the hospital. They sent me back home. Didn't come back till 4 a.m. today on the 5th. Still in labor. It's
24 hours.
8. Yeah, that's 24 hours, and it's 8:25 right now. a.m. I'm on oxygen. I got an epidural. 28 hours in labor, guys. But I didn't get induced. This is natural, so 28 hours. So then time passed and they kept checking me or whatever. Her heart rate was kind of doing a little up and down stuff, but they told me to keep my oxygen mask on. And then, y'all, it got to like, I want to say it was like 12 something, and I was like, ooh, I gotta poo. So I called the nurse, and the charge nurse came, and I was like, I gotta poop, can I poop? And she was like, you gotta poop? I was like, and then she checked me, she was like, you're 9.5 centimeters, and everybody in the room was just like, thank you, Lord. Like, yes, like, woo, hallelujah, praise the Lord. It's time to get the show on the road. And I was kind of like shocked. I was like, I'm 9.5 centimeters. Like, it's really going down. Like, I'm finna have a baby. Like, my daughter's coming. So then they started transforming the bed, and I brought all the carts in, and they called my doctor. And so the nurses came there, and my boyfriend was there, and Kiana was in the back behind me, and she was recording and being a DJ because they let you play music. I wanted to, you know, play Chris Brown, but she wasn't finding the right mix. So I gave birth to Drake. That's crazy. I had my gospel. I did. Then I gave birth to Drake. But anyway, so my mama didn't want to hold my legs, so my boyfriend had one leg and the nurse had the other leg, and my legs was like up, like I can't do it, but I'm gonna put a picture. One leg was up like this, and my legs was opening up like that. So they was like, okay, we're gonna labor down. That means you're gonna push, and we're gonna practice pushing until the doctor gets here. So basically, you push through a contraction, and it's like you push. Like at first, I was going, and they was like, don't push with your throat, push with your body. And I was like, they was like, no noise, and I was like, okay. So they was just like, you just push like you gotta poop, but don't poop. So a contraction when a contraction start, you take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they count to 10. Then you take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They do 3 pushes per contraction. So at that point, I had labored down, and her head was right there, and I couldn't feel the pain of it, but I felt the pressure. Like, you know, like when you constipated and you got a turd stuck. That's how I feel. Like when that turd is stuck in your booty hole and you feel it, like you feel around it, like the outside of your butt. That's exactly what it feels, but just in your vagina hole. Like, and so my boyfriend looked, and he was like, that's her head. And then my best friend looked, and my mom was already like on this side of the bed, but my boyfriend was leaning over right here. He was like, oh, she got, I think she said he got hair, or somebody else said she got hair, I don't remember. So then the doctor came in, and he was like, okay. So then when he looked, he was like, oh, she was facing upward. Like her face was towards the ceiling. So he has to go in, and he like turned her. I think he called it like OP or OB or something like that. So he turned her face down. That took a little minute. But then after that, I started pushing, and I pushed her out in like 30 minutes. And that last push, emotions just filled the room, like the Lord changed the atmosphere, and it was just like, Suri, hey girl, like.
Let me take one out. Hey Suri Ray, happy birthday.
It's like my daughter's here, like y'all. It was like I'm not in pain no more. I'm not pregnant no more. Like she's finally here. I'm looking at her these 32 hours. She came out at 1:13 p.m. Okay, like, hey Suri, like y'all, I'm getting emotional thinking about it because like y'all, it was just an emotional time. Like my boyfriend cried, my mama cried. Kiana said she didn't cry, but I think she low-key cried. And then they put her immediately skin to skin on me, and I was just holding her and crying, and my boyfriend was touching her, and we were just like, oh my god. She was 6 pounds 15 ounces 19¼ inches long with a head full of hair. At first my baby looked like them peanuts off the Proud Family because of her head shape, because she was stuck there for a minute because it took a minute to get that dome out. She got a big head. But yeah, and it was just a wonderful experience. It was just beautiful, y'all. It was beautiful. And then after that, I was like, I need to take a bath. I need to take a bath. I stink. It smelled in that room, okay? Like, it was like blood, and it was nasty. And it wasn't like a nasty, like, I don't know, like, I just felt real musty. Like, it was just gross because I was sweating, and it was, and I hadn't took a bath, and I don't like that shit. But I couldn't take a bath till my anesthesia wore off. So they unhooked my epidural. The anesthesia wore off. I'm sorry, y'all. I took a bath. I took a shower. The nurse assisted me in taking a shower. And then I couldn't even eat my burger because once I took a shower, they moved us from labor and delivery to like the other section of the hospital, mother baby. And I couldn't even eat my food because I was so tired. So I held her for a little while, and then y'all, I went to sleep. And then I woke back up, and I woke up with her, and we had some complications in the hospital, but I'm gonna get to that in my next video. In my next video, I'm gonna do a 2-month postpartum update. I'm gonna tell you about her complications in the hospital, my complications in the hospital, all of this other stuff, how I feel now, postpartum depression. All of that is gonna be in my next video because this video will be a million years long, and I already know when I edit this it's gonna be long, so I don't want to hold y'all. So in my next video, I'm gonna talk about all of that. I got a new setting, I got lights. I'm still trying to work on this background stuff right now. It's a little nigga rig, but it's okay. And yeah, y'all, but mommy do these calls, so I'm gonna have to cut all my back end short. Just like, rate, comment, subscribe. More videos coming, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Peace.